Michael, I understand from stalking you online a little bit.
Yes, yes.
That a British film director discovered you while you were still in med school?
I was in dental school at the time. Discovered, that's a very funny word, isn't it? We met. I was at my favorite restaurant in New York called Lucky Strike. It was actually under the apartment that I ended up living at in Manhattan, down on Grand Street. I was having brunch with my girlfriend at the time, a bunch of exes ago. And yeah, and he's like, "Oh, are you an actor?" I'm like, "No, I'm actually a student trying to start a career in dentistry." And he was like, "Well, I'm a director, and I've got a part in my film that I think you'd be right for." And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, "Listen, man, like I'm from New York. Like I hear crap all the time. It's like whatever, you know." So I didn't really think anything of it. I looked him up. He was actually a legit film director and working, you know, for like 20 years, did big feature films. So I called him, and I ended up working with him personally for like a month or 2 months rehearsing for this role. I didn't get the role, but during that 2 month period when I was working with him, and I was like, I like this. I really enjoy acting, and I was like, I'm gonna try this out. So I talked to my parents about moving to New York, and it just I didn't look back. I stopped going to school, and I started booking stuff, and yeah, it worked out.
What was that conversation like? Because I've heard others, like from like comedian Brian Regan and things like that. I think he was in his last year in college, and he was going to be an accountant or somebody like that. And they had to give that conversation, "Mom, Dad, I have something to tell you."
My parents have always been supportive of me, no matter what, right? But the one thing was education. You get your degree no matter what. And I had my bachelor degree. I went to Hamilton College and got my degree in biology, and that was all great. But they are both professionals. My father's a doctor, my mother's a nurse. So, you know, you're going to be a professional because we are professionals, and this is what we want for you. We want you to be secure, and we want you to make a lot of money. That's not what they said to me, but yeah, they worry, right? Parents worry. They want you to be stable and have what they didn't have, you know. But I told them, you know, I just want to try this out. Like, I'm young. I have a liking to this, and I think that I can do it, and I like it, and I want to try it. And I'm going to move to New York now. And they were very reluctant at first. And it wasn't until they started seeing me on television in commercials or, you know, TV shows or whatever, and they were like, "Okay, so you're not homeless?" Because, you know, they worried. They worried, you know, they, in their mind, an actor was someone who would go to auditions and just fail. And they thought I was going to end up like in a gutter somewhere, probably. But, you know, they raised a smart boy. I wasn't an idiot. You know, I could hustle. I waited tables, and I was able to make my rent every month. And the rule was this. I said, "Here's the deal. The day I ask you for money, or the day I ask you for your help, where I'm really struggling and I can't do any more on my own, is the day I quit and I go back to school." And I've never asked them for anything. So, haven't had to ask them for anything yet. So it's, yeah, and hopefully I won't have to.